minutes of non-stop news starts now.
Tonight, trouble with the federal Air Marshal program.
Marshals tell 7 News investigator Tony Kowaleski your safety could be compromised.
And Mike, an unprecedented 17 air marshals in 4 states are sending a message tonight. They say the nearly $700 million taxpayer dollars you spent this year paid for a failing system, putting you in danger, ignoring the lessons of 9/11.
This is a late-breaking story we're bringing to you live. Not a whole lot of details. Apparently, a plane has crashed into the World Trade Center.
Our job is to prevent another September 11th from happening.
Oh, God!
We can't do that. Not under these circumstances, not under these conditions.
We do not want to come before the media. This is the last hope that we have to get these dangerous policies changed.
Never before have this many federal air marshals risked their jobs, their paychecks, and their federal careers. It's all on the line to expose what they all call a critical failure in national security.
I am so completely and utterly frustrated.
We heard it from air marshals in Las Vegas.
I fear for my safety. I fear for the public safety.
From air marshals in Dallas.
I believe very strongly that there are problems within the Federal Air Marshal Service.
From air marshals in Atlanta.
The American public deserves better than this.
And from air marshals in Denver.
Why are you sitting in that chair tonight?
Because if something doesn't change, another 9/11 is very possible.
In all, 4 cities from across the country, an unprecedented 17 air marshals attacking management for systematically exposing their covert status, willingly compromising their undercover assignments, ultimately risking the safety of air passengers from coast to coast.
Our anonymity is the only thing we have as a defense. Without anonymity, we may as well wear our guns on the outside of our shirts, and that's where we're sitting.
Air Marshals tell 7 News policies and procedures established at headquarters are compromising their security in airports, on airplanes, and in the hotels where they stay.
If the terrorists know who the air marshals are, they can ambush them, take their weapons, and take over the aircraft.
Do you believe that's happening now, that terrorists can identify you?
Children can identify us.
A majority of the air marshal's concern centers on procedures in place before the plane leaves the runway. What we're about to tell you is publicly available. Air marshals say there's no danger in sharing it with you because it's information any potential terrorist can easily access.
Attention in the boarding area. This is your final boarding opportunity.
Currently, air marshals must publicly display their credentials and this badge 3 times in airports. Here as they bypass security at the checkpoint, again to the gate agent, and finally to the pilot in the cockpit.
The procedures that we're required to follow right now make us stick out like sitting ducks. Any trained terrorist organization will have absolutely no problem determining who we are and how best to defeat our tactics.
And their frustration is amplified by this fact. For several months, air marshals have attempted to convince top managers to change the policies that compromise public safety, and nothing has changed.
There's nothing broke here that can't be fixed in 48 hours. I think it just takes a little integrity and common sense.
Don Strange ran the Federal Air Marshal's Atlanta office. He was in charge of 4 states. Concerned about national security, and before he was removed from his job, he sent these 2 memos in August 2005 to Secretary of Homeland Security Michael Chertoff.
In hindsight, were these issues worth losing your job over?
Absolutely. And if it causes changes to be made that make people safer, then no question about it.
In the memo, Strange said the Federal Air Marshal Service is a morally corrupt agency. He said current policies unnecessarily endanger the lives of federal air marshals and the flying public. And finally, he alerted Secretary Chertoff that senior managers at headquarters were, quote, lying to Congress and the media about policy issues.
Lying to Congress?
Absolutely, and I put that in documents I wrote. Matter of fact, I called senior management at the Air Marshal Service and said, "You guys are lying to Congress. You're lying to the media. We can't do that. We won't have any credibility as an agency if we do that."
The agency's credibility took another hit when a congressional investigation produced this highly critical report back in May.
What was the impact of the House Judiciary report?
Really nothing.
So a report more than a year in the works, and nothing came of it?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
The congressional investigation confirmed what air marshals have attempted to change internally for more than 2 years. It said any policy or procedure that potentially compromises the identity of a federal air marshal is a policy or procedure that compromises commercial aviation and national security.
We're standing on top of the mountains and we're screaming at the top of our lungs to change these things, and our agency isn't listening.
Nobody wants to be in the headlines, but we also would like a voice. We would also like for someone to just listen to us and stop the insanity.
Now, the director of the Air Marshals, Dana Brown, declined a request for an interview on the issues raised by the 17 Air Marshals. Instead, the agency sent a memo that did not address any of the points raised in tonight's report. It did say the agency is currently assessing the agency's policies, practices, and procedures. Now, you can read the entire statement on our website at thedenverchannel.com. Also, if you believe Congress should investigate, we have created links to Colorado's delegation. Ultimately, the Air Marshals say they just want it fixed. They want their identity secret so they can protect all of us.
Goodness, incredible story, Tony. Thanks very much.